holding the microphone. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the LIQUI MOLY head office, and we have a really stunning live interview lined up for you. And we have these awesome ladies in the office, and they're going to share what they eat, what they drink, what they don't drink, everything, so that you can get to know them. So welcome. All the way on the other side, we have Kim Lecourt, Samantha Sanders, and right next to me, Theresa Ralph. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
I was looking forward to this interview because we had the whole, we've had some conversations. You had the pre-launch, whatever, on the Premier League yesterday morning. We're having a soft launch, another launch again on Saturday. And we've had a little bit of introduction on our kickoff. But we haven't had the opportunity to really get to know you. A new team. I mean, Theresa, you've been in the team last year, but you've got these the wonderful new teammates, and you're now a pack of 3. Which, watch out, rest of all the female teams. Here's a ladies' team to deal with. Mm-hmm. But today, really just to be able to get to know you, ladies. So, if I can ask, if we can start, T, we can start with you. It's just introducing, just giving us a little bit of a short background, a little bit about yourself for everybody that is watching that does not know you. And just before we start, everybody that is viewing this live, please, if you have any questions, write it in the comments section. Our team at the back is going to write that down and make sure that we get those questions. So if there's something specifically you want to know of any of these ladies, please let us know so we can make sure that those questions of yours is answered a little bit later on the interview. T, all up to you.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Theresa Ralph. The team name is Galileo Infinity Spot. We're a professional ladies mountain biking team. We also do some road every now and again just to mix it up and keep it interesting. And if I look at these 2 ladies on my right-hand side here, they've actually got a lot of road accolades and a lot of mountain biking accolades between them. And I'm just proud to have them join us. And yeah, we come in 3s now, not in 2s. And so looking forward to the year ahead. We've got fantastic sponsors that are sponsoring us. We've got to represent as much as we can and have fun as we're doing it. And I think that's what our team is all about, is go out there, try your best, but in the same process, have some fun, enjoy the competition. And yeah, that's what we're all about.
Quite a tongue twister, the name of the team.
I've been practicing.
Don't say it's too late at night to make sure you don't miss anything. But your Galileo Infinity Spot, proudly sponsored by LIQUI MOLY.
Yes.
But yeah, they're quite a nice bunch of sponsors, and I mean, how else with such an amazing team. So I'm also excited to be able to see what the year and also the team dynamica is going to bring for this year. And then brand new in the team, Sam Sanders or Samantha Sanders, whichever way you want us to introduce you. I mean, you've been well known. I mean, we've seen it's also a name that's very well known within cycling in South Africa and so many other places internationally. So I know every time I arrived somewhere and it is a technical route, then the wish was also always to be behind you to be able to see what you do, because you have your skill levels on the downhills and technical aspects are amazing. But Sam, just to all the people that might not know you, and if you don't, I don't know where you've been. If you don't know any of these ladies, make sure that you follow them. You're going to have all their Facebook links so that you can make sure that you're always on top of where they are. But Sam, if you can give everybody an idea, a little bit of background, where you come from. If I say where you come from, what teams you've ridden for before. But I know if just also your part in the team and what is your excitement or your vision for this year?
Cool. Hi, Sam Sanders. I only get called Samantha when my mom's angry with me. I live in the Lowveld, Nelspruit, and it's an amazing place to train and ride, which is why I love it so much there. Not really a city slicker. So predominantly I race mountain bike. I'm the current national SA marathon champ. I've been national cross-country champ in 2013. And have raced some road a couple of years back where I rode for Cycle Nation, and last year, well, for the past 3 years, I rode for Dormakaba, which was another professional ladies mountain bike team. But I'm super excited to be a part of this year's team with these two girls. And yes, we supported by amazing sponsors. But in terms of 2021, I mean, it's been a tough sort of 18 months or so for everyone, but looks like racing is going to start picking up now from March onwards. And I think it's been tough preparing because we haven't really known when racing will kick off. So I think it will be a bit of a slow start. But looking forward to the second quarter of the year where things will start getting serious, and I think we'll actually struggle to keep up with all the racing. But yeah, I'm super excited to see this year sort of what each of us can do, and really excited to have Kim on our team, who's new to mountain biking, and looking forward to just mentoring her and helping her reach her full potential.
Thank you so much, Sam. I wanted to actually have the whole list of everything that you ladies have achieved, and I thought, okay, that will tend to one be a full hour. And I think those are things that people can actually go on to Wikipedia or in your profiles and be able to see. And I think always the amazing thing about athletes is the person behind it, because I think we look up to our pro athletes, and a lot of ladies that wants to cycle look up to you for the tips and what do we need to do and how did you get started, and can you guide on in whatever ways to, am I on the right path, what am I supposed to do? And what I like about the three of you, it's so very different. I mean, if I look at Kim and all the achievements on the road bike and mountain bike, also have achieved quite a lot in a couple of years ago, and now also getting taking it on full steam. You all three have such different personalities, but also such an amazing energy around you. And I mean, just seeing you cycle together, whether it's virtual or on the road, and the fun that you ladies have, I think that's also going to be something to learn about from others, to say it's serious when we train and when we do things, but when we work together as a team, it is quite a different environment and totally a different energy that we bring to it. So thanks a lot, Sam. Kim, we received a lot of comments when we posted the interview, the live interview today, and a lot of them were in French, and we wanted to reply, but it was very difficult for us. We could reply in German, but decided that's not. And I know on your nationality, you have South African, you have your British, and also Mauritian. Correct. So your biggest part of your life has been in Mauritius.
Correct. I was, hello, I'm Kim LIQUI, and I'm born in Mauritius, and I've finished high school in Mauritius. I only moved to South Africa when I was junior, but I used to come on and off, so I used to be actually a mountain biker, but a cross-country rider when I was a junior, and I needed to come here to test the waters, because in Mauritius there was not a lot of women athletes, cyclists that I could compete against. So when I came here, this is where I fell in love with the South African scene, and slowly only practiced mountain biking until I was second year junior, first year under 23. I decided to give the road scene a shot, and I did a few road races here when I was a second year junior and performed well. Went to Youth Olympics, went to professional teams in Europe for 2 years on the road scene, so I was full-time a roadie. And then from there, I was only doing road, possibly only riding mountain bike now and then in the weekend for longish rides and just for fun, because it's actually more comfortable on the bike, and the vibe is more fun on the mountain bike scene. So it's good.
Don't say that too loud.
So it's good to get out of it a bit. And obviously with COVID last year, I went to Mauritius to compete into my national road champs. And I was planning to go there for 2 weeks and I got stuck for 5 months. So I did a lot of indoors with racing, Premier League, the TT, Team Time Trials, raced against T. So that was quite fun, but I got a bit fed up of riding my road bike. So when I got back, I told my fiance, no, let's just do some mountain biking. And then I kind of fell in love again with the mountain bike, did some Nissan Charles Seekers last year. Really enjoyed it, performed well, in my opinion, for the amount of training I've done on the mountain bike lately. And met T, and yeah, things now I'm in this amazing team, backed up by amazing sponsors, and super excited for this year ahead. Now I'm a full mountain biker, a complete switch, but I mean, I fell in love, and I'm super excited to learn from these two experienced riders. And we are obviously going to do a few of the road races this coming year, if it does happen, hopefully. Let's stay positive. But yeah, super excited and looking forward to the stage races mostly.
Okay, so you say that it's more fun on the mountain bike. I 100% agree.
Yes.
We have that on camera.
Yes, and you can shout at me whatever way you do. I mean, we always, even when I was in Journey, I was cycling and I was greeting everyone, and they would not greet at all. And I said, there must be roadies. And I realized that they don't greet at all when they're on a bicycle. So then on a little bit lighter note, Kim, what is your favorite dish? Because I know Sammy said that she's a wannabe foodie and into reading books, so that's what I see. But I want to get as much of the personality behind the pro athlete as what we can. So let's start with something that's a little bit totally off the bat.
Okay. It's actually a good question, but as soon as you asked me, I knew exactly what it was, but it's because it's one of my mom's dish. It's called an aspic. I don't know if anyone knows what it is, but it's like a jelly. It's a cold dish, and it's like under a jelly coated, so you see the whole thing in the... anyway, it's called aspic. It's from... I'm not sure where it's from. I think it's French, if I'm not mistaken. She learned it from my granny, so that's one thing. Every time I go home, the night before, she's like, what dish do you want me to do for you the first night you arrive? And I'm like, aspic, 100%. So that's the one dish.
Okay. So ladies, can we please ask, so whenever we're going to get together and do it, that's one of the things that we have to try it, because I've never heard of it.
Mom, if you're watching, you need to come over and cook the dish.
We can come to her. That's also good.
Yeah, well, we can do that.
A stage race.
And a lot of waters we can taste. Yeah.
Naughty dishes, naughty sneaky treats would be the marshmallow Easter eggs. Those, if I see them in the shop, I 100% get it, even if it's December or July. That's my to-go little sneak treat.
Okay, so if we make a goodie bag for you, the one with the jelly is not going to last so long, but then the marshmallow ones, okay. Made a note.
Love them.
Awesome.
I'm also a fan of Italian food. That's one of my most favorite. Obviously, I know we can't eat it as much, but whenever I can eat it, I'll have some pasta. Yeah.
Awesome. And you, Sammy?
Ooh, my favorite dish. Wow, there's so many. How do I choose one?
But your last, if you're in prison and it's death row, the last meal, what would it be?
Wow. Ooh. So, yeah, I'm not like a pasta or a rice fan at all. So it would probably be, I'd have to say like a braai would be my last meal with like pop tart with like cheese and sweet corn and definitely traditional South African braai.
With a braaibroodjie as well.
With
you
a
do pop tart
braaibroodjie.
and braaibroodjie. Then you have to go cycle like for 2 days non-stop.
For sure. Definitely, that would be it.
And you, T? Okay, and we didn't ask what you want to drink, so if it was wine, then all good, but what would be the dish?
So I also, we would be having this interview at lunchtime, and I'm feeling pretty hungry, so almost anything that's being mentioned is making a little growl happen. But I do love to have a little bit of sushi. I think I enjoy the protein and the rice combo. I don't think it's a good pre-race food, definitely not. I've tried a race on sushi before and as a pre-race meal, and you should definitely rather have the braai.
Proper carbo load.
But yeah, I'd say I love having different chicken dishes. So your proteins, when you're a cyclist, the chicken is really, really good. I don't really like the red meats. So I've experimented a lot with how different ways to cook chicken. And also, maybe I'm a little bit of a foodie myself. And so, yeah, I love wrapping a chicken breast in bacon and stuffing it with feta and popping that in the oven with some olives and tomatoes and onions in the dish.
So I think now everybody that is tuning in live, they do want now going to the kitchen or to the whatever to be able to go and see if they can find something to eat.
Excuse me.
All right. So the next question I want to ask, and I know, so Kim is 24, Sammy is 37. You over the weekend just hit the 46 mark, and that's a nice variety of different ages. But the nice thing about it is, I know if people are watching and they want to be, some people decide on whatever age to become a pro or to do, they absolutely love cycling and they want to dedicate their life to that. And what's nice is there's so many, this is ages that are, in our 20s, in the 30s, and in the 40s. But I want to hear from you ladies, when did you get on a bicycle and know this is what you want to do for the rest of your life, or you want to become a pro? I get onto a bicycle and I cycle and I feel, okay, I absolutely love it and it's a massive passion for me. But when I go over rocks and I see what you ladies do, then I think, okay, clearly I'm 100% sure I'm not a pro, but I'm loving the hell out of it. So at what stage did you know that you absolutely love this and you want to become pro? And how did you know that was a possibility in your skill? Or just because, I don't think people always know, am I good enough to be a pro? Or what dedication needs to go in it? If I make the commitment, I might not think I'm a pro, but if I work hard enough at it, I can achieve it. So if you can give something, because I think a lot of people are at that point and wanting and never know where that transition happens, that this is what I want to do and this is how I actually have to take that step and get into that kind of environment.
Well, for me, I think everyone is different in their own ways. But for me, since I'm a very competitive person, whatever I do, I need to do it to the best that I can do it. So when I was young, I used to play soccer for many, many years before cycling. And there I wanted to become a professional soccer player in Mauritius, or not in Mauritius, but I had a contact in the States that wanted me to go there. But then I had to decide cycling or soccer, and I was doing both at a time. But with the support of the family, I kind of switched to went to cycling and decided, okay, cycling is the way to go. Obviously, people around me kept on telling me I had a lot of talent and I can do this. And obviously, for me, flying to South Africa, I performed well without the training and the knowledge of knowing anything. And coming from Mauritius, where it's only flat roads, and coming in, I look at this rock garden, and I'm like, why? This can't be on the course. Why do you guys put a rock there? You can literally just go next to it where there's no rocks.
Take it out.
Yeah. So, for me, it was just because I was, I feel like I'm naturally talented in sports itself, and cycling was the sport that came in my childhood, and the sport that my family performed, and people supporting me on the side. I think having family support and friend support also helped my journey to where I am now. I never really knew I could do it until I kept on pushing and pushing and pushing. And now, obviously, I'm at one of the top steps I've ever been the top step I've ever been in my career. So I think to everyone out there, you just never stop trying, because you never know. It can literally be around the corner. It can literally be just one training ride or one mental space where you're not there. So for me, it's just something that I was kind of brought up into, this mental space of wanting to do something. If it was golf, or it was a cake, or if it was anything, I wanted it to be the best of the best. I don't want to lose. That's just who I am. That's just me.
Awesome. And in that whole process was I think they always say that rather try and fail than not trying at all, because you will always learn something from that. So in that whole process, even though your personality and the environment and your family was always very supportive and you always wanted to do something to the best of your ability, there must have been quite a lot of failures through that, times that you don't feel so great, times that you feel that things are not going your way, and just keep on going.
Yeah, no, 100%. My first year, in my second year in Europe as a professional rider, I had such a terrible year. The prep for it broke my toe in the December base training, so I couldn't train for 2 weeks. That's quite something small, but it still affects your training and your mental state, especially because the mental state is, for me, way more important than physical or anything else. So then I got back on my bike, trained really hard, got back to the top. Maybe a month before I was supposed to fly overseas, I got kidney infection. So then I was 2 weeks off, lost 4 kgs in 2 weeks. So then again, back to square one, went to Europe, raced, trained for the Giro Women Tour. First stage, crashed against a car, broke ribs, flew back home to Spain. So it was a bit of a mess. So after that year, I almost gave up. I was very close. I gave up professional road cycling in Europe. And I said to myself, maybe I need a gap year. Maybe I just need a year to ride my bike with no pressure and enjoy riding my bike. And that will maybe help me fall in love with the sport again and not push myself through that hard times. And that will make me hate the sport. I don't want to get to that point. So I got back, did Bergenbush for fun with a friend of mine. Like, we literally started a batch, stopped at every water point, which was great because I've never seen a water point before.
All the goodies that are there now.
So we did that. Stage 2 started in B batch because we were put there because we came last. Stage 3, C batch. And I was like, well, if there's a stage 4, I mean, we're going to be like... But that was one of the best, probably the best time I've ever spent on my bike, on that stage race, because it was just a complete reboot of my mental state and physical and everything I needed. So yeah, and then from there, I mean, look where I am now. I mean, it was just I was super close to just giving everything up. So
there's a quote by Les Brown: if you can look up, you can get up. And I think the most important part is just not quitting. So such nice a story and advice for everyone is, doesn't matter what, because everybody gets a downhill and an uphill. The one is after the other. So woo. Sorry. So yeah. So I think the important part is that everybody knows, it doesn't matter what level or what you are doing, whether it's music or whether it's business or whether it's a pro athlete, everybody has those ups and those downs.
And the best part of all of that, so that was in 2016, and my 2017 was the gap year. And the 2018, that was my best year I've ever had on the bike. First race till 6 or 7 race, it was a win for myself. And it was Cape Town Cycle Tour was my first ever race in 2018, and that was just an insane year. And I realized, okay, maybe it's not too bad to kind of take a step back to take 4 steps forward. So that for me was a big lesson learned.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kim. And Sammy, for you, did you come out of diapers and when you were on the tricycle, you knew this is it? Watch out, world, with my nappy, here I come.
It's funny you should say that. Yeah, so for me, actually quite the opposite of Kim. No one in my family cycles, but I grew up racing motorbikes, actually. So my dad literally put me on a little PV50 when I was like 4. So, yeah, raced motorbikes through, motorbikes, go-karts, quad bikes, a lot of things, till university, basically. At uni, for the first 2 years, did a lot of enduro racing, which is like long distance on your motorbike. But physically, it was really tough because you get super tired, and then I'm quite, small, and then to handle like a 250cc, it's like a big machine, and you have to like get it over rocks and stuff. So it became a bit tough, and then I decided to buy a bicycle at uni, like just to keep fit and also be on 2 wheels, but just, I thought like still 2 wheels kind of thing.
I have to pedal it with your 2 wheels. A lot of people on motorbikes go,
Yeah, that's what my dad says. But yeah, so literally, like the second I walked into the bicycle shop, I was like, oh, this is really cool, because the bicycles are quite similar in many ways, like, in terms of the mechanics, like the suspension, or, all of that you set up on a motorbike, and the gear ratio and everything. So I was like, oh, bikes are, sure, they've come a long way since my game special.
Back break.
So, yeah, I bought myself like a super entry-level Merida, and chatted for hours to the guys at the bike shop, and they're like, no, but there's actually a race this weekend at Fountains in Pretoria. You should come ride. So I was like, okay, cool. So I went there. I had no idea about like cross country or cycling, like marathon cross country, the difference, how many laps, how it worked. I was on flat pedals, didn't even have chamois. I was like in shorts. So and I raced in my age cat, but obviously there were elite ladies there, and I'll never forget at that stage Yolande Speedy was like a top of the game at that point, and just like lining up, and everyone's like, yo, check this chick.
She's got a helmet up around the wrong way.
All the gear, but no idea.
Yeah, basically. But it's okay. I beat them all. And I can honestly say, like, I fell in love with it immediately. I died because I was super unfit. But technically, it was that same adrenaline rush that you get from racing bikes. And obviously, I was skilled, I just like flew through all the technical sections. I was quicker running up the hills. Like I remember chatting afterwards to the guys from the bike shop, and they were saying, they're like, wow, you did really well. I was like, this is really cool. And I was like, do people do this? Because I actually wanted to race motorbikes. Like, I wanted to go to Europe and race my bike, my motorbike. And they were like, no, like, you can do this as a profession. And I was like, wow. And from there, it progressed sort of.
How old were you, Sammy?
I was second year university, so 22. Yeah, I was really 22. So from there, it was a bit of a rapid progression, but also like hit and miss. Like I said, I knew nothing, but every time I rode my bike, I did better, and obviously I learned about cleats and all the rest, and what a proper bike was, and gear. You can't race a 24 speed on a cross country course.
There's a lot of people that go, why not?
So within 2 years, I attended my first continental champs, cross-country continental champs. And at that stage, I had already decided to be pro. I can't remember the exact moment when I said, this is... I think it was when CSA contacted me and said, you've been doing really well, like, would you think of attending continentals? And then I think that was kind of like the small push. But for me, it was never a question of, am I good enough? It was a question of, is it possible in terms of sponsorship and things like that? So I never doubted my ability. And it's probably silly of me, but yeah.
Put the head down and go.
Yeah, but that's how I am, Sometimes I don't even think. I just, like, go. I've gotten better with that with age. So
It's say that comes with age, but...
wisdom. So, that was how I got into it, and I've never looked back. It was a lot of learning the hard way, possibly. I also raced in Europe. And in retrospect, I could have done a lot better if I had have known more, if I had more experience, that kind of thing. But I never regret, a lesson was learned. I believe that life takes you where you need to go. And I mean, I've achieved a lot of things. I still want to achieve a lot of things. I don't think I'm the most talented athlete. I just think I have perseverance and I have a really good work ethic. That's basically it. And I have skill, but you know, that doesn't always win races. It's a bit more than that.
Awesome. I like all the things that I'm hearing because I think that adds value to people that are listening. And it also it adds quite a lot of value to me. I mean, I think the one thing I heard from Kim and the one thing as well I heard from you is, first of all, you don't give up. You have perseverance. And also, you kind of have a little bit of a tolerance for fear. So, because I do think that's quite something that comes with, you sometimes just close your eyes and go, what the hell, just let's go full out. Doesn't matter if I'm going overseas for this. I'm going to learn something from it. And if I'm going to break something, then we'll also learn from that.
Yeah,
okay. Thank you so much, Sammy. T, you've given us, the interview we had with you last year and the information you have shared. I mean, you have, when I look at you, the one thing that I do not understand is how do you fit everything in a day? Oh, yeah. So, because you work, you give spinning classes, with the Premier League, when they need you there, you are there. When you're my coach. So and then you cycle and you have to exercise. I mean, all of these things, I don't know if you actually sleep. So I haven't seen you sleep. So I think you don't.
I just plug myself into the wall every night.
Recharge. But I know you come from a background with swimming, and I know with your brother, he was going to go do the epic, and actually got you to the spot. It bit from there, but just also from someone that did not listen to that interview, you can always go back. But give us a little bit of an overview or an idea of where you just decided this is what I'm going to do. I absolutely love this, and whether I have to get up at 2:00 in the morning, work, give training, go and spin and practice, whatever, this is going to be done.
Exactly. I think from my swimming days, as you mentioned, I started when swimming really young at the age of 9. And to touch on Kim's comment, where I just was swimming at a school gala the one time, and oh, hello, I won that, okay. And then someone in the crowd goes to my mom and says, she's got talent, you should take her to a coach. And my mom goes, oh, okay, let's do that. And then she says, we're going to a coach. And then you go to a coach, and the coach says, yeah, she's got some underlying talent there, let's train her. And the first coach I didn't bond with, which is another point that you can bring up. And I think I got smacked by a flipper a few times. But then, and then my mom had to drag me crying to every single training session. But then you find the right coach that you actually, you link with. And from there on, I actually stayed with him for the rest of my swimming career and developed these lungs.
They can take you wherever.
Yeah, he developed my tank, the steam train. So I think benefits of doing other sports, number one, both other sports, you get the discipline behind it. From swimming, I think I watched a black line up and down for hours and hours, and hence I can sit on an indoor trainer for hours and hours. I find it more entertaining watching my little avatar go all over the show, and some person comes past you and you go, no ways, I'm getting up this hill faster. It's much more entertaining than watching the black line in swimming. So yes, touching on having a previous sport, having the discipline, enjoying the competition, wanting to win, it all plays a part in the growth of where you want to go. And so I did have a gap in my life where I wasn't actually competing internationally or at a sport competitively. I was having children, and that adds to the juggle of the day.
Another part we can add into your daily routine. Also have kids.
Yeah, also have 2 kids. So I had those, and also coming out of having kids, it does teach you to survive on minimal sleep. And still keep your head up, still fit the training in, still, do everything, because I suppose being a mom is it's hard. It's hard being a mom. You're responsible for 2 other little munchkins in your life, and you need to work to provide for them, and you also want to chase your dreams. So, yeah, you put all these balls in the air, and luckily for me, I've got very understanding family and very understanding sponsors, very understanding partners. Partners, sorry, not partners. Partner.
We can't flip that thing out, sorry.
I'm blushing.
Put your foot in it.
Yeah. But I am old, so I've had a few partners through the years.
It sounded like now.
I'm trying to dig myself out the hole. Thank you, Sam. Sam knows me well. So you do need that. And also my corporate job at F&B, they have been fantastic to me. I've been with them for 20 years. And so giving my dedication to them, they've also given back. They've allowed me to have sports leave and being understanding with my flexible training schedule. So I'm very lucky to have been able to position myself to be able to juggle all the balls of life. And also be disciplined. Get up in the morning, even though you might be tired. I found that keeping to a routine is what does it. You need to have that alarm clock go every day and not press the snooze button 3 times, because that becomes the routine.
The habit, yeah.
You know, get up straight away. Know that you've got X amount of time to fit your training schedule in. Instead of like going, oh, my coach said 20 minutes warm up, X amount of intervals, 20-minute loosen down. You're like, okay, I'm going to cut 10 minutes off there.
Don't
10
talk
minutes
about
off
me,
there.
T. We are focusing on you today.
Put your schedule down and go and do it. And you find that by the end of the day, you've managed to fit it all in. And so I suppose that's one of the tips that I can give is get into your routine.
So while we're on tips, so I think looking at people normally, they say you practice and you have your discipline for so many hours to build it up for that, 3, 4, 5 hours, depending on the stage race or the event. And it's all of that practice for that one event. There's a build up. If you look at Epic, 7 days, and it's hard work. It's totally a dedication of eating right, all the exercise that goes into that, all the training. And I think a lot of the times people want they want to achieve a certain level, but they're not willing to go through that dedication and the disciplines. So you gave the tip now of the discipline and making sure that you train. So if I can ask from all 3 of you, what would be your biggest tip to someone that wants to, I always believe, okay, if you decide you want to go professional, you make that decision and you commit to it, and then there's a lot of sacrifices and things that have to go with it. But if you also decide I'm going to cycle, I'm going to do mountain biking, but I'm going to be the best as what I possibly can be, because I must be honest, iconic, any kind of race is just 10 times better if you are if you're fitter, if you have the skill to do it. Otherwise, it's torture, and it's quite an achievement if you finish it, but it's so much more fun if you're fit. So doesn't matter on what kind of degree someone wants to do that. What would be your tip to do it and have fun if they don't want to be pro, but want to give their best, or then decide that this is something they want to do and they may be still young in school and they're committed and they do have the skill and they want to develop that? What is the tip in your daily routine and getting to that level that you can give someone that you would say was the most important tip for you? And then we can hear from everybody what the most important one is.
Well, for me personally, we've mentioned a lot is discipline. It's 100% that. It's knowing how to schedule your day, your month, what to do, how to do it, and do it. But also for me, I've learned that from my brother. He also races in Europe, and he's told me that his coach or manager one day told him that life as a pro athlete or life as a normal person, it looks like a stool with 3 legs. So the one leg is your sport, your hobby, second is your family, and your third is your work. And if one of them is not stable, the stool is going to fall, and everything's going to be not stable. So that's one thing that he's told me that when I was very young, like just started, or he just flew to Germany at that time, and I was maybe 14 or 15, and he told me and my parents the story, and that helped him, and now it's been stuck with me for years. And every time someone asks me for advice or tips, that's what I always tell them. It's always try and make sure that family at home, personal life is going good, that work is going good, and then you'll be able to perform. If your performance is good, if your work is good, your family, when you go back home after work, you're going to be happy, everything's going to be fine. if family and cycling or whatever sport you're doing, hobby, golf, is going good, when you go to work, you're going to be happy and your life is going to be good. So the stool's going to be standing straight up. But if one of them is not, you're kind of pushing it on the side and focusing on the two others, it's just going to fall over. So that's my tip that I've stuck with me for very, very long. I make sure everything works smoothly. I make sure I make everyone happy, give everyone time, and focus on myself as well at the same time. Because if I'm happy at home and at work and I come and I go train, I'm happy. I'm focused. I can focus on myself. But if I've had a little bit of an issue at work and I'm just kind of like, okay, I'm going to sort it out tomorrow. If I go home and I need to train, it's going to be a bugger in my head for a while. So, yeah, that's just me.
So I have a saying, how you do anything is how you do everything. So if you have that balance, I think it just spills over to all the other parts in your life that you will then perform much, much better.
Yeah.
So thank you for that tip. I hope everybody's taking notes. You, Sammy?
My tip. Well, I think, like as a professional athlete, I think this would resonate with anyone, even if you just want to do the best that you can do. But what I always try to do when I'm, wanting to perform, and I think it's a little bit similar to what Kim's saying, is that you have to tick all the boxes. You can't say, oh, I want to race at my best, but not pay attention to your diet, for instance. And by diet, I don't mean like dieting, but just your nutrition. So are you nourishing yourself? Are you looking after yourself? Are you emotionally happy? So yeah, you have to tick all the boxes to reach that ultimate performance. It's not a matter of just like performing. There is actually a process to it, and that process involves certain components, and those components cannot be, you can't ignore them. You have to tick all the little boxes.
Awesome. Sure, we're getting some valuable information. T, you've just mentioned about your habits and your disciplines, and with everything that you have on your plate with the kids. I forgot the kids one when I was going through that. I think when it comes to balance, that is something that really needs quite a big focus, but I also know your discipline and what you just mentioned is quite important. So would that, your tip, anything else you want to add on that?
So we are primarily a team of mountain bikers, and we're going to be doing a lot of stage races. So my tip is to choose your partner correctly, which luckily I've got fantastic talent next to me here. Firstly, I have ridden with Sam before. And also when Sarah was leaving the team to spread her wings further, she actually came to me and she said to me, who's the, out of South African woman, who is the one person that you really would like on your team? So I was like, it's hard to say, but the one that I know is Sam. And I know Sam's discipline, and I've ridden with her before, and I would love her to be part of the team. So that one is ticked as choosing a good partner.
Ticking boxes, yeah.
For Kimmy, we haven't had the opportunity to race together, and we have raced against each other a lot, and we are definitely similar strengths and have similar heads, because your heads need to be in the game, and we both want an end goal that is good. So in choosing her to come and join, it wasn't my decision, but having her part of the team is great, and we know that we're all like-minded, we all similar strengths, and I think that is important for the people out there who are choosing a partner for a stage race to come up. So
make sure you choose a good partner, the right partner. Okay, definitely a very, very important part. Okay, I want to quickly go to some of the questions that we've received. So, what is your favorite holiday destination? Dee?
So, I've managed to travel quite extensively across South Africa with all the stage racing that I've done. I haven't been overseas for events. I have ridden in Switzerland just for training, and I have been to France for World Marathon Champs. That was don't want to go back to France in a hurry. Sorry, French people, but it was just the weather. the trails would have been sublime if the weather wasn't so bad. But I would love to go to Croatia just to see what that's about. If you could travel internationally, but if we were to keep it local, definitely the Cape area is phenomenal. You can go, Cape Town and further to the Western Cape. They have got endless trails. They're out in Gerbo, Hermanus. I've done them all, and we are just so spoilt in this country to have that on our doorsteps. Hop on a plane, you're 2 hours into the trails.
Yeah.
Awesome. So Croatia and South Africa, Cape Town, and that surrounding area. I mean, we have the most beautiful country for me because of all its diverse, Mpumalanga and all the mountains and the ups and the downs. There's no rolling hills. It's up or it's down. And the sea, everywhere is just such a gift. So yeah, we are very fortunate in this country of ours.
Yeah.
Sammy, you?
So for me, a holiday isn't a holiday unless you get to swim in the ocean.
Because you live in Mpumalanga.
I'm a Bali.
Must test the waters like Kim. She goes all over the show, even though she's surrounded by water, Mauritius.
So I've also traveled extensively, raced, sort of all over the world. But I must say, my favorite, like a holiday, is going to the sea. I love being on the beach. I love, just being barefoot and walking on the sand. I said earlier, I'm not a city slicker, so I want to be in my either barefoot or slip slops and board shorts and not really brush my hair. Okay, I don't do that often. But I must say one of my most ultimate holidays was Thailand. Just being at the sea the whole time, cruising around on a scooter everywhere. Very relaxed, amazing food, and the locals were just super friendly. So I obviously didn't ride bicycle there, but that was probably one of my prime destinations to go on holiday. But again, like T said, locally, the Western Cape is amazing. You can't really swim in the sea there, but the trails make up for it, so I'll give it to you guys.
Awesome, thank you, Sam. Kim, is your favorite holiday destination Mauritius?
Well, for me, it depends if it's going to tan or if it's going, because I love tanning. I can lie on the beach for hours until I feel burn. But if it's obviously because I'm from Mauritius, so my family still lives there, and I live here now. So if it's the only place I can quickly choose, I'll go to Mauritius because I love tanning. And obviously for me, it's visiting my family, which I will do any day. If it's overseas, I've been to Australia once for the Commonwealth Games, and that was insane. I loved it. It's basically South Africa, just better.
Ooh, snap out.
But no, it was amazing. What I mean by that is the food is similar, the lifestyle is similar, the people are the same. It literally felt like I was in South Africa. Otherwise, I love the snow. Love the snow. I've been there 2 years ago with my parents in Andorra, and I was in love. I loved it. So I would love to take my fiance there once to be in the snow with him. He's never been, so... Otherwise, if it's in South Africa, we were in the Western Cape for a month in December, my fiance and I, and we fell in love. We fell in love so much that we are wanting to move there. So Western Cape is really amazing for us.
Okay, so Western Cape, 3 ticks, well done. Okay, so another question as well is, can you do a trick on your bicycle?
Sure.
So I think some people here haven't seen you on a bicycle, but
I can do lots of tricks, but it will end up with me on the floor.
It's today or yesterday was National Wheelie Day.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Is it today? I think it's today. Okay. But anyway, but it's only National Wheelie Day if you can wheelie. So scrape it
I can, but I'll follow.
And you, Sam?
Yes, I can do a few tricks. Nothing hectic. I can wheelie, and I can do a bit of an endo. What else is there? Yeah, I can wheelie.
Okay, so I think, and you, T?
I battle to take both hands off the handlebars, to
Oh
be
my
honest.
goodness.
You know, people think that because you race pro, you can do all these tough tricks. But I, you know, in my life, I've broken a few bones, so I keep it safe. Maybe I'm a little bit cautious. Yes, I can lift my hands off the handlebars, but you'll never see me coming over a finish line with my hands in the air for some unknown reason. I need to practice that. But I can do tricks. I can bunny hop.
I must. So I know when I started mountain biking and behind you guys on a trail, and you would do certain things that I had to get off my bicycle to go down. For me, that was a trick. It was like, how the hell did they do that? So I think tricks is always depend on who's asking the question. If you're going to ask Barry or some of the guys that or potties, then they're going to be able to mention a whole list. But I think for others, it's like just already just what you can do is unbelievable.
Right over a curve.
Yeah. Okay, the last question that we received is, what is the best weather you like cycling in? So if you get up and it's that weather, you go, oh my goodness,
So it has to
watch
be
out.
extreme.
No, your best weather. You must be honest, not extreme.
Well, I stay in Joburg, and I feel that Joburg is the best weather in the world. I think summer, winter, you know, you don't have the rainfall that the Cape has. You don't have the winds that the Cape has. And like even midwinter, when you go out there and your Garmin's saying -5, you just layer up, and by lunchtime the sun is out and it's warming up your toes, and we're frozen on the bike. So I do like the warmth. In the cold, I do tend to get a little bit hypothermic if I'm out there for long. So if you're in a rainy condition with not enough layers and it gets cold and my core gets cold, I battle to get warm again. So I would choose the heat over the cold.
Awesome. You, Sam, you are in areas that is, I mean, I've been, every time I'm in Mpumalanga when it's like 17 degrees, people have jerseys on. And I think, oh, wow, it's warm.
Yes, I live in the Lowveld. It's pretty warm. And our winters are mild in comparison. But also it can get super hot. So, but weather doesn't really faze me on the bike, to be honest. If it's hot, cold, either way, like I don't struggle in the heat. I don't really struggle in the cold either. But if I had to choose, I would choose like that slightly overcast sort of weather where sometimes it's even a bit drizzly. I don't know why, I love it. And it's even better if it's like misty and you can't really see what's coming at you, especially if you're climbing. Like, I'll never forget. Amy and I did Mkhube track, I think the inaugural year that they had it. And we were going up this climb. And the next year we rode it again, and it was fair weather, like you could see. And I was like, wow, Ames, this climb's actually hectic. It's like, yeah, we couldn't see it last year. I was like, yeah, we were much faster.
Yeah, because you don't anticipate, you just go. And for you, Kim?
Well, for me, I'm from Mauritius, so there's no winter there. So for me, it's also the warmth weather. Because the one time I raced in Knysna for the Oyster Festival, and I got hypothermia, and I was in hospital. So no, the cold doesn't work really well for me if you don't have the kit. I would definitely go for the hot weather, but not too hot either, because in between.
That's like spot on it.
It really depends. In Mauritius, I would like it because it's always hot and humid. So it's always nice if it rains a little bit, because then you don't sweat as much. In Mauritius, you get out of your bed, there's aircon, you get out of your room, and then you sweating. It's hot. So if it rains a little bit in Mauritius, it's awesome riding. Here, Pretoria weather is also amazing and never rains. And if it does, it's great. It's hard one day and then everything is a mud fest. But no, Pretoria's weather is I love it. I would say dry, sunny. Not such a fan of rain, but only if I'm in Mauritius.
Okay, so what I want to find out now from you is, I mean, we've had, last year with the whole lockdown and everything changed, and we had such a nice build-up for the Epic, and then that didn't happen, and there was, I think, it was such a totally everybody's life, whatever you planned, you had to just forget about it. And now in 2021, you're an amazing team. But what is your biggest goal for this year? And then also, what is your biggest goal for your career? If I can ask you, start with you, Kim.
I think for me is probably learning as much as possible. I've not been I've never done a year of full mountain bike racing, and I've learned that only in 3 months in December, that I've trained way more and I've put way more that I used to put in road cycling. I just feel like in the mountain bike scene, you can't hide from just training a little bit. You need to really give everything, and so for me, it's just been, I don't know, this year riding with this team I'm still young, and it's my first year of doing a lot of stage races. Obviously, we don't know for sure the race planning yet. We have a few ideas, but hopefully it stays the way it is, because as it is, the calendar is awesome. So if it goes the way it is, then I would say participate in as much stage races as we can, see who's going to be partner of who, and gain as much experience. I would say that's my number one goal this year, to just become the best I can be, and learn as much as I can from these two and from racing my bike.
And then your pro career, your biggest goal currently?
Olympics Paris 2024. Yeah. So I've going back into cross country a little bit. So I did a race this past weekend. Very scary for me. It wasn't technical. It was a bit technical, but not for Sam. For me, it was technical.
Okay, but you can't.
But yes, that's my long-term goal. Obviously, there's African Games and Champs in between, Commonwealth Games in between. So there's a few, but the biggest one that I would put on top of the list is probably Paris Olympics 2024.
Yep. Awesome. And you, Sam?
Oh, so goals for the year. I mean, I've never really, said it publicly as such, but I had a massive injury, so my career almost ended at the end of 2019. And at first we didn't know what it was, but long story short, I had a pinched nerve, which caused massive issue in my life. So I've now finally reached a point where I'm actually sort of in the beginning of the year, reached a point where I, was for the first time really knew that I could continue with my career. So for me, this year is just about getting back to what I know I'm capable of. I was showing Tia a video clip last night from Nizhna Bull 2 years ago, and I was like, I just want to get back there, So that's my goal for this year, is to get back there. And career-wise, I've achieved many things. Most of my goals throughout my career, I've won every major stage race in South Africa. I've raced internationally. But the one elusive goal is still podium at Epic. That is definitely my career goal. Once I've achieved that, I can retire.
All right, you. Awesome. Bring the champagne as soon as that happens. So celebrate the wins and the retirement.
Yeah. So.
But what I normally know is then you're there, and then you go, okay, now the next thing I want to do.
Probably, but yeah, that's definitely something I want to work towards, and I feel like in this team, we, that's something that we can strive to achieve, which is amazing. And then, I think what's something I would also like to really is give back to the sport. So I'm not sure how yet, but I feel like I would definitely like to, help young riders make the right choices. If I look at my journey, if I think back and I think, if only I had someone saying, Sam, this is how you need to do it. So someone just taking you under their wing and helping you. So I think I don't want to say legacy, because that sounds very hectic, but I would like to do something that leaves a mark in the sport. Yeah.
Awesome. And you, T? For this year, and then for
this
life?
year, So yeah, this year is a curveball in terms of the coronavirus. Well, 2020 was, and at the beginning of this year. But we're going to start racing again soon, and I'm just so excited to see what our team dynamic is going to form. So I think I'm going to be racing with Sam, and I'm going to be racing with Kim, and we're going to learn a lot about each other, and I think my weaknesses are going to be shown to me once again, and I can work on those. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to this year to grow. Yeah. Also,
I love what you just said, because I think people look at you and think you don't have any weaknesses anymore in what you do. But I think the moment that you think that you now know everything, you can't learn anything, that's the moment when you go backwards. Mm-hmm. When you know you always have something to learn, always some weaknesses that can be shown that you can improve on, and that totally just brings two gears together that you go forward much faster, is always a situation. Doesn't matter what level of anything you're in, whether you're a pro cyclist, whether it's in business, in any part of life, is just keep on growing and learning more and realizing that we always will have weaknesses, that we can just get into that uncomfortable situation and actually grow.
Mm. So with Sarah being part of the team and bringing her on board 3 years ago and growing her to the level where she's at today has been a phenomenal personal journey for me as well as for Sarah. Now I feel that with Kim joining the team and my experiences with Sarah, I'm going to have a similar journey with Kim. Not that I know everything and I'm pass everything down. Kim is going to teach me a lot as well. Her experience on the road I don't have at all, and I'm going to be picking her brain to get some experience from her, like I did with Sarah on the technical side of mountain biking. So there's always this relationship that's always going to happen. With Sam as well, even though we have raced together, Sam is just phenomenal on the skills side. I think she is the best I know.
A machine.
And when you actually ride behind her on a bike, she looks like she's dancing. She goes down.
I haven't even been that close.
No,
She's always like
ask her to ride slowly for you one day, and it will be really slow for her and super fast for you. But you actually watch her, and I want to learn how to dance on the bike like Sam does. So there's that type of stuff that I'm so looking forward to learning. And for future goals, well, we do have Epic coming up, which is going to be my 9th. I want to reach 10, definitely, as one of my goals. And I want to get close to podium as well. And we are defending champs, so whoever rides with me at Epic, we have to defend that jersey.
No pressure.
No pressure. So yes, that's an immediate goal for this year. We need to defend that jersey. And it's just so refreshing. When Sarah came along 3 years ago, I was thinking, I'm getting old. Can I keep this up? And she brought new life into the team. And she's left, and now I've got even more life into the team. And it just keeps picking me up and going, listen, you're not done yet.
You're only as old as the youngest in your team.
I know. So also another future thought of mine is to use what we're developing here in the cycling world and give back and keep bringing the youngsters through. And I would love to get involved in some type of initiative surrounding that. If we do it through our team, the Galileo Risk, Infinity Spot, LIQUI MOLY, tongue twister. Great, but even if I do it from a personal, just from myself, then I've achieved a lot.
I think you ladies have so much to give, and there's so many people that just want that information and that help because they don't have that, they don't know where to go, and then sometimes that's what stops them, is having that guidance. So you have a lot to offer, so it's great that you want to share that. So the last question I want to ask, and it's hopefully it's not on a serious note. This is not a serious answer supposed to be. Do you have a ritual? So this is something I have to eat before I race. This is what has to happen. I have to wear this G-string. It has to be this pants. Is there something that before a race you have to eat? and something you have to do that just sets you up that you feel a little bit more confident, or is it not really something that you do before a race that, I mean, if we look at Nadal, he has something he pulls out of his backside, then he puts his water a certain way, he has a little bit of a dance, he does that continuously. But I know there's some people that know I have to have something with me, I have to wear a certain thing, I have to eat something, especially in a certain routine. So share a little bit, what is that, what you feel is your magic before a race?
So for me, I basically eat the same thing pre-race. So
What is that?
And that is a chicken that is baked in the oven. It's usually one from Woolworths. It's deboned. It's very easy.
You say
Sweet
a chicken, the whole chicken. Is that a lot of chicken for one lady?
No, I don't eat the whole thing. That's leftovers for after the race so that you can eat them the next night if it's a stage race. So chicken, sweet potatoes, roast veggies, salads. So you bring your carbs in with the sweet potato side. And that is basically ritual for me. If I don't get that, it's not the end of the world. Another thing I do, which I kind of look at my race profile on what you're going to race, but I only do that last minute, like the night before. I don't look at it weeks before or look at all the epic stages as what's to come, because I find that takes up place in my mind. And I often start dreaming about...
You do that as well?
Yes, about the race or the stage or whatever. And I feel that interrupts your sleep. So I leave it till either the night before or even the morning if you're driving to the actual event. You look at what's ahead of you and prepare your mind mentally for what's to come. Okay. So, yeah, those are the type of things. I don't have a necklace that I wear or an item of jewelry, or I do have a favorite set of gloves, my lucky gloves. And I think my fingers through, but it's good for the iPhone. So these are my iPhone gloves, but I don't think I'll ever throw those things away. So I do have a lucky set of gloves.
Awesome. And you, Sam?
Yeah, so you said it wouldn't be serious, but...
It shouldn't be, hopefully.
Okay, so same like Theresa, I don't obsess about things you can't control. I will only look at the profile the night before as well. So, then I'll study it and I'll know exactly where everything is, and then I'll actually visualize it. But normally before a really important race, we'll go pre-ride, important climbs. So areas where attacks might happen, or where you think you're strong and you'll be able to attack. But yeah, I am a creature of habit, so I'm very much, I like my routine. I like to also eat the same thing, for dinner, eat what I know for breakfast. And then I have a weird thing with socks and gloves. So I also have my favorite gloves and my favorite socks, and it's not like I believe it brings me luck. It's just
every time you had them on, you were lucky.
Yeah, and they're so comfortable. It's just like I have to wear I have a few pairs, but it has to come from those favorite ones when I race.
And in the morning before you go, how long before do you eat?
So for me, I will eat 2 hours before, and then I'll preferably drink, like a carbo drink before the race. I love food, but I struggle to eat super early in the morning. So I'll have a soaked oats or something like that, and then I'll drink carb drinks through the morning and before I start. Yeah.
Okay, so hope this helps. So everybody's changing their way of eating. You, Kim?
Yeah, mine's very different. I don't want to go into very spiritual side, but I do have a cross on my hand. So I have this necklace that I wear when I race, and there's a little pendant, I'm not sure if I say it right in English, on it, and a little cross that my mom gave me. The pendant comes from my granny, so I wear that when I race, and I also do the cross sign just before the start line goes. So that's normally what I do every race.
Awesome. And do you have something specifically that you always eat, or not really?
Yes, I do eat. I have switched around a few times because I feel like I still have time to kind of play around with my food. And obviously, going into the mountain bike scene, it's a much different scene and much different type of nutrition that you put in your body compared to road scene and cross country and all that. So I'm still kind of playing around with food. But yes, I do eat the same thing in the mornings now and then, and dinner also. I'll make sure that I'm kind of familiar with that one thing. And if we can't get it, it will be a bit mental. It will. It's like it's a psychology. Like, oh no, this is not good. Tomorrow's going to be a nightmare.
So you already then affirm it.
But yeah, that's all of that. Like, it can move around. I'm not so fussy about those things. It's just what I do, the rituals in the morning on the start line. I don't know if people see it sometimes, but I kind of try and do it very privately. But yeah, that's what I do.
Awesome. So I hope you enjoyed the interview. I definitely did, and learned some things. I think a big take for me is the fact that it doesn't matter where you start and what you want to do, just have fun, because I know you ladies have fun, and don't quit. It's going to, some days are not going to be great, and there's lots of them in there. But if you really enjoy what you're doing, never quit, and just know that that is the norm for everyone. Not everybody. There's no smooth ride. Doesn't matter what level. It's going to be up days and it's going to be down days. And the ladies, you'll see. We have the tags and everything in the interviews, and some other information about the ladies on our Facebook page. But also please make sure that you follow Kim, follow Sam, follow T, so that you can know where they're racing, how they've been doing. We will always bring you updates if they are in an actual race, to be able to make sure that everybody that's following in them know exactly how they finish. So I want to thank you so much for the time and coming to share a little bit of yourself with everyone. And for the last final message, what is a quote that really inspires you?
Wow.
So everybody's like tick, 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 tick,
Yeah,
tick.
I'm not.
Or a saying, or just something that is even if it is just something that you want to share, or inspirational from yourself to anybody out there that wants to cycle, looks up to you.
Not really a quote person, but I would just say never give up and always look ahead. It doesn't help looking backwards. So.
No, that is a quote.
I really quoted by Kim LaCour.
We can use that on one of our Monday motivations. Thank you so much, Kim.
My quote would be, "It doesn't get easier, you only get faster."
Love that one. I'm going to put it on my t-shirt.
Oh, guys, you used my quotes.
Can't beat you. You always have something that you bring out of a hat.
I really like the one that you said earlier, if you can look up, then you can get up. And that today rang true to me. So if I can just use that as mine.
You can. It's from Les Brown.
Yes. Thanks, Les.
Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. And if there's any questions, or there's anything you want to ask, and maybe you didn't have the time, or you're watching this a little bit later and not while it was live, please let us know so we can share it with the ladies. They are also, I know, training, and then also the initiatives that want to help. Those are all the things that I think are great ideas, but we also want to make sure that you know from a training point of view, their profiles, all those will be available. We will also post on our Facebook page so that you can make sure you can follow them. Thank you very much from myself. Thank you very much to the ladies, and hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks for having us.